Institute Stand Up, to Dr. David Israel, my mentor in the Hebrew language, and to all the saints of Emmanuel Church of Jesus Christ Apostolic, Pastor Thompson, Archbishop McCullough, Bishop Washington, and Bishop Cross, and to the Cyclopses that are in the building. What a day. Come to think about these two criminals that are running the world right now. And I had food made for my household yesterday, and there was supposed to be enough food left over so that my portion would be there, put in proper boxes or proper containers. So, I get home, 90% of the food is eaten. There is a portion left for me, nowhere near the amount of food that was cooked. There's only two of us in the house eating. And then the entire kitchen is trashed. Everything's everywhere. So at the end of the day, it made no sense to even prepare anything because all that was left was a mess and a little smudging of food that I will not eat because I don't eat leftovers. I'm not that kind of guy. The amount of effort that we are putting into trying to make sure that we all live in a righteous world, the strides of humanity to live civilized, to feed each other, to bless each other, to continue a pathway of trying to be our brother's keeper, to loving your enemies and blessing them that curse you, to being able to so-called be tolerant, to reach across the table of bipartisanship. All these adages that are supposed to be the progressive mind of a world post multiple world wars. Well, throw all that in the doggone garbage. Throw all that in the garbage. Because you have two despotic liars that have risen up in this last dark ages of human decency. And you do not need to have a conversation about any historical characters to bring about imagery of evil men other than Netanyahu, who's first in line, and his cohort is Robin Donald J. Trump. Netanyahu, a day or so ago, had an interview. I believe it was CBS. I'm not sure exactly who it was. I should have taken note of the name. I did post it on my Facebook, Del K. Brereton on Facebook. You can see it there. And in that interview, he says a multitude of lies. A multitude of lies. Propaganda is something that the Europeans started to use and understood it well. Nazi Germany did a very good job of it. But since they have made it popular, no one has failed to use it. And Netanyahu, in true form, masterclass is what I put on my Facebook and read this particular video. A masterclass of propaganda. Number one thing he said was that due to our intel, and he always uses the same phraseology when it comes to Iran, we have determined that Iran is an existential threat to the existence of the state of Israel. And therefore, based on that intel, again, intel, not facts, not evidence. Intel. Intel is rumors. Intel is things that we've divulged from talking to third-party sources, hearsay evidence, that they have come very close to enriching their uranium, and all that takes now is for them to weaponize it. That's what he said. And therefore, we felt we had to launch now. Whether it would be 6 months or 18 months, that was too close for us. And so we launched attacks. And as you can see, as we are attacking military targets, they're attacking us. And the top of the news of this particular story was speaking of one man, one Israeli man, looking for his poor father under rubble, and highlighting the victimization of one man, when it is clear that Iran has taken the preponderance of hits when it's come to death toll and injuries and decimation to their nation. And this Israeli-leaning, and again, proper terminology, Zionist agenda news story was to again place the villain in the victor's seat, to make the wolf look like a lamb. That's the purpose of it. So lie number one, intel. It's talking about, that's the intel that we received. And imagine the capacity to decide to launch a weapon attack on a nuclear site based on intel. Number two, if I don't get them in the right order, forgive me, but he referred to Donald Trump as a strong president. He's a strong president, and that this strong president was the attempt to assassinate him. Yes, this is number two. Was done by Iran. How do they know that? They said by the proxies of Iran, based on intel. We know that the gentleman who tried to shoot Donald Trump was a white man, okay? So it was a white, good old white man from America. Didn't want to see his country go in any direction that Donald was taking it. And he took it upon himself, with the assistance of the Secret Service, right, to back away enough to let this guy get off a shot, and he missed. He missed. He's a horrible shot, and he missed. Okay, so unless these proxies of Iran also control the Secret Service, which cleared the path for Donald's attempted assassination, and anybody doesn't think so is a dummy. Go back and look at it. Imagine people are pointing. There's a guy in the roof. There's a guy in the roof. Telling Secret Service, there's a guy in the roof. There's a guy in the roof. Pointing a gun, setting up. And as soon as he fired, Secret Service, boom, boom, finishes him off. He's not going to tell his story because they already had him in sights. His job was to kill Donald Trump, and then they kill him. That was the job. That was the assignment. He failed. Got a couple shots off, and they're like, bro, we can't let you shoot anymore. Bam, and he was dead in one shot. He failed his assignment. So unless Iran controls that dark corridor of the Secret Service that allowed for Donald Trump's potential assassination, because he wasn't the president yet, he was running for president, and we know Joe is ready to pretend he's going crazy because we know Joe set that up anyway. Good for you, Joe. But to say that Iran tried to kill the president 2 times, no evidence. I mean, it puzzled the news reporters. Like, you're trying to say that Iran tried to kill the president 2 times? What are these 2 times? Well, through their proxies. Through their proxies, we have intel on that. Netanyahu discovers that he is Donald Trump's assistant, that Donald is running the show, and that he's really just Donald Trump's backup man, which is completely the opposite. Donald Trump is the backup for Israel. Netanyahu is running the show. And up until recently, we heard too, and I'm sure that was on the table. I am positive that was on the table. Although Trump is taking credit for it not happening, that they were going to kill the Ayatollah as well. They were going to kill and assassinate the Ayatollah. And Trump said, "Oh, I don't think that's a good idea." Yeah. Oh, I don't think that's. They're sitting on the phone saying, "Yeah, who should we kill next?" That's the mentality they want us to have. These guys are sitting around, having a fireside chat as besties, probably using an old-fashioned telephone. They're not Zoom calling, saying, "Yeah, I think we're gonna kill Ayatollah today." "Oh, no, I don't think we should do that, bro." Yeah, that's a conversation they had. That's the conversation they had. Grand Rising. My audio is very low. Sorry about that. Been saying some great stuff. Let's see if I can assist in any way here. Turn this thing up. I apologize if it's low. I don't know what to do about that. I know these might sometimes affect it. Anyway, hope it's not worse. Let me know. Yeah. So we understand that Donald is also, as I said, discouraging Netanyahu, because this is Netanyahu's war. Don't call this a war of Israel versus Iran. This is Netanyahu versus Iran. This is the evil agenda of the Zionist movement that has new muscles, new teeth against Iran. The Zionist agenda. And he's discouraging him from trying to kill the Ayatollah. Now, and this is just being thrown across the internet. Let me explain something, okay? And of course, he was calling it a terrible regime. They make women wear cover-ups, and they tell women to do horrendous things. And of course, he's trying to westernize. He said this too. He said the Persian people and Israel have been friends since King Cyrus. That's not you, Netanyahu. You're a Polish man, bro. You're a Slavic Polish man. You've had nothing to do with that. The people that you represent have had nothing to do with that relationship. You had no relationship. Your ancestors had no relationship with the King of Cyrus, the King Cyrus of Persia. You did not have a relationship with him. Let's just be very clear about that. Okay? You had a relationship with the Tsar, right? With your Slavic Tsar, who decided to convert all of you Slavics who had accepted to being Judaizers. You had no relationship with that. So please do not try to develop an affinity towards the Persian people with this fake narrative. Another lie. Another lie. When did the Polish people have a relationship with the king of Persia? I'm talking about ancient Israel. You're not part of ancient Israel. Just like I am not part of ancient Canada. My ancestors weren't here in ancient Canada. Right? It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept that you want us to believe. And this is what I was going to say about the Muslim world. If there was ever a time for jihad, if there was ever a time for Islamic people all over the world to gather themselves together and to say, this is the time for us to strike, you have been given no greater reason. There has been no greater moment in time since since Islam controlled the world in the 7th century, there's been no greater time in history for Islam and all of the powerhouses of that movement to say we must unite against these people. And if Israel was really afraid of enemies, which they are not afraid of enemies. They have nuclear weapons. They have the backing of the #1 arms dealer in the world. They have an affinity relationship, a boy-boy relationship between Benny and Donnie. It's the Benny and Donnie show. They are not afraid of anything. But if they were afraid, like they pretend to be so afraid, this should make them 1,000 times more afraid. 1,000 times more afraid. Every Israeli, every visible European Jew should be absolutely petrified and terrified right now. Because if you can, watch this, if you can draw a funny picture of the Prophet Muhammad and have a bounty put on your head for drawing a funny picture of the Prophet Muhammad, right? Let's establish that. There's no one in the world who makes fun of the Prophet Muhammad lightly. They'll make fun of Jesus, they'll have a skit, they'll do all kinds of stuff on Jesus, but the second somebody tries to get cute with the image or with the historicity of the Prophet Muhammad, whether it's a filmmaker, whether it's a comedian, there's a bounty put on your head. So now you've decided to tell the world that, yeah, we're planning to kill the Ayatollah. And you think that there is not a bounty put on the head of every Israeli, a bounty that is put on the head of every American. If you think that these people who have called America the great Satan for the last 3 decades, if you think these people have not risen up to say, oh, this is our time. It's on now. They're going to kill the Ayatollah. Oh, it's on now, baby. It's on now. We ready now. We were froggy before, and now we're about to jump all over this. If you think that the Yemenites and Hezbollah and Hamas and every other movement, Islamic regime in northern Nigeria and everywhere in the world, if you think all these guys are not on a group call right now, oh, buddy, these guys are singing Kumbaya, it's ready to go. These guys are putting war paint on their face. And if Benjamin Netanyahu wants to make world leaders targets, it is about to be a free-for-all for world leaders. World leaders are about to start dropping all over the place. Don't play with these guys. These guys think different, eh? You just told these guys, oh, the gloves are off. No problem. Don't fly in a plane. Don't announce that you're having a G such and such conference in a particular location. Don't do that, because you're going to have bombs for breakfast all over Europe. Bombs for breakfast. Don't think that they haven't activated cells in America now. Don't think that they're coming for Trump in any way, shape, or form. When this guy lifts up his head, Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. Really? Iran said, oh yeah? We don't need any talks with you. Netanyahu, last thing, he's been so different than instead of Donald Trump. He's been so different than any other president. He hasn't given them billions of dollars to keep them out of the arms race. He hasn't negotiated with them. He's just told them they can't have a bomb. Oh yeah, that's what you tell a sovereign nation that has the capacity to do what they did with Iran historically is they said, listen, this is what we're going to do. We want you to shut down your nuclear program, but we're going to pay you to do it. It's your advantage. We're going to give you billions of dollars to not do it. We don't want no smoke from you. We're going to give you billions of dollars to not do it. We're going to trade. We're going to make your country rich. We're going to do all kinds of stuff. Just that stuff, just got to stop that right now. That's what the past guys have did. All right? Was it a good plan? Hell no. That was not a good plan. That's not a good plan at all. That's not a good plan at all. All right? That's not a good plan. But that's what they did. Did it work? Might have slowed them down for a little bit. They said that they went and did an audit. There's no active production of nuclear weapons happening. But does Iran believe it needs nuclear weapons now? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Let me tell you something. And Netanyahu is spinning it in such an incredible way. You know, these people are terrorists and they've gone and they've done this and they've done that and they've had all these things. You can't allow these people to have a nuclear weapon. That's what everybody should be saying about Israel. You cannot allow Israel to have a nuclear weapon. Israel does what it wants. Israel does what it wants. Under Netanyahu, Israel does what it wants. It starts wars when it wants to. It bullies people when it wants to. You ever have that guy in the group, the smallest guy in the group, who's the guy that causes all the friction and all the big guys got to fight for him? We had a guy like that, my buddy Eldon Maskell. Love you, Eldon. I'll throw you under the bus a little bit. Eldon used to start fights, start problems, right? I took a right, my first hard punch I got because Eldon Maskell started a fight with some drunken white guy in the 80s, and Eldon ducked. I didn't get a chance to duck. Guy slugged me, and then we had to finish that off. But I got the hit of my life because of Eldon Maskell's ass. Eldon ducked. I got whacked. And we have to clean up the mess. That's what Netanyahu is. He's a guy causing fights all over the doggone place, and then asking America, "Oh, you got any more weapons for me? Got any more bullets? I'm out of bullets. Yeah, I was shooting a bunch of people. I killed a whole bunch of people. I just don't have any bullets left. You got any more bullets? What the heck is going on? You got any more missiles? Well, you're gonna need a lot of missiles. You're gonna need a whole lot of missiles. You're gonna need a ton of missiles. The amount of missiles that have been fired in 3 days, you're gonna need a ton of missiles. And Iran is saying exactly what they're supposed to say. When they stop, we'll stop. And we're not targeting military sites. We're targeting everything. The only safe place in Israel is Jerusalem or Dimona. And Dimona, put up a fence. Don't let them Israelis into your area. Don't let them come hide with you. No. You let them do what they do normally. Fly to America, right? Israelis got U.S. passports. Dimonites aren't supposed to have them, though. People from Dimona. The black Hebrew can't have two passports, right? They've got to destroy their passports in order to not get deported. But these European Israelis, they can have two passports, and as soon as things get tough, they go to America. So let them go to America. Jerusalem's fine too. Jerusalem's gonna be safe. I'd be sleeping at the foot of the mosque on a padded mat. Yep. I'd be going right there to that big old mosque in Jerusalem. Take my whole family out there and we'd be pitching tents. Yep. And reading the Bible right on the doorstep of that mosque. That's the safest place you got, in my opinion. But right now, these two liars are going to set the world back. Let me be 100 years. They're going to set the world back 100 years. That's what they're doing right now. They're setting us back to a time of fascism. There is nothing different between Netanyahu and Adolf Hitler. There is no difference. I want you to understand that, the depth of that conversation. There is no difference between Netanyahu and Adolf Hitler. There is no difference between them. There is no difference between Israel and apartheid South Africa. There is no difference. There is no difference between King Leopold and Donald J. Trump. There is no difference. There's no difference. There's no difference. I'll explain the last one because the other one should be clear. King Leopold wanted to use Congo basically as his backyard. Congo was his personal property. He wanted to have it basically as his backyard, Riviera. Donald Trump wanting to use Gaza, the homeland of these people, as a Riviera, as a country club, as a giant golf course for his bidding, to basically golf on the dead bodies of Palestinians, pave it all over. The sacred homeland of these people, pave it over. Let's just create golf courses and beaches. May their ancestors come from the ground and drag you to the hell that you belong in. Because the audacity of that thought, and Netanyahu said, sounds like a good idea to me. These are the people you're dealing with. These are the men that we are dealing with right now. And if everybody is not concerned about the safety of the world, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong. I'm watching the NBA finals last night. Part of me is like, this might be one of the last finals that we get to watch. I'm not joking. I know it sounds, oh no, this guy's like Chicken Little, the sky's falling. I'm dead serious. That's how dangerous the world has become. The world has become 1,000 times more dangerous right now. 1,000 times more dangerous. People have to pick sides now. You have to pick a side. You have to pick a side. Ibrahim Traore was getting too much news. Now he's not a big deal anymore. Not a big deal anymore. Ukraine and Russia, not a big deal anymore. Not a big deal anymore. Those are cousins having a spat. Those are brothers fighting. It's not really a big deal. It's really not. Right? But now, you don't have brothers fighting. You have enemies fighting. And they're fighting in the worst ways possible. They're justifying murdering each other. Yeah, we had to kill all of their scientists. We had to kill all of their scientists. Imagine the thought process of that. Yeah, we killed everybody in the country who had the capacity to have any intellectual understanding. All their engineers, they call them scientists, they kill all their engineers. They're killing people that are the brain trust of the nation. Let's kill all your engineers. Imagine going to get an engineering degree and you're in Iran and you're working, as a nuclear engineer, right? You're running a dam, you're running a power grid. And all of a sudden, all those guys, kill them all. Kill everybody that knows anything about nuclear anything. Kill the guys who are running the switches. Kill them all. Let's flip it. Let's kill all the delivery men who do any deliveries and take anything to any military base in America. Let's kill all those guys. Let's kill all the cafeteria workers who work there. Let's kill all those guys. All the clerks that work handing out all the way. Let's kill all those guys. Let's dismantle. Now you're joking. This is the mentality of these people. We're gonna kill all the scientists. Never been done. Normally, they take the scientists. The Assyrian conquest, the Babylonian Empire, they take the brilliant people and keep them for themselves. Not Israel. They kill the brilliant people. They kill the smart. They kill the elite. They kill the excellent. Wow. They kill the leadership, the organizers. And you want these people to consider you to be what? You've made a mortal enemy for the next 500 years. You just killed my mother and father and I'm watching you on television? I'm going to train my kids. Make sure those people never live. Of course, you've created you've created a greater enemy because you got social media now showing us the wickedness of the true agenda of your mind, my friend. You become a very dangerous man because you're trying to kill people who effectively are simply just intelligent people. You just say, I'm gonna kill everybody intelligent in the nation. They're giving us the best spiel, trust me. They're giving us the best spin. This guy is going to murder everybody to lead in that nation and leave the nation with a bunch of individuals who simply will say, we don't want any trouble. You're going to leave them with farmers, merchants. We don't want any trouble, please. Don't worry, we're just going to kill all of your leaders. And then we'll come and get the rest of it. We'll come and tell you guys what to do next. Wow. Wow. And if you think the Ayatollah is not in trouble, in a whole lot of trouble, you haven't been watching the world. I feel like Charles Barkley about to play Angola. I don't know who Angola is, but Angola's in trouble. I don't know who the Ayatollah is, but the Ayatollah is in a whole lot of trouble. And if that guy's not somewhere hiding, he's a dummy. Yep. I say it every day. I don't want to be that kind of dummy. Not me. Kendrick Lamar came to Toronto. Right? Kendrick Lamar came to Toronto. And he had 2 shows in Toronto. 2 shows. He had to do 2 shows here, back to back. You know what he did? Because he's not a dummy. He came to Toronto, did 1 show, flew home right away. Because he knew doggone well it ain't safe in these streets for Kendrick Lamar. He flew home right away and then said, I'm coming back the next day to do the next show. He flew back in to do the next show. Because he knows it ain't safe in Toronto. Because when you get those Drake fans, them Drake goons in Toronto, ask Rick Ross, right? Drake got people riding for him that will knock you out, knock out your whole crew. You don't got enough security to deal with them. I don't care how many big dudes you bring in here. We got some good old boys from Winnipeg, from Sudbury, who ride for Drake. They'll come out there and knock you out. Some big old farm boys will come out there and knock you out because they ride for Drake. Forget about the hood. Drake don't need the hood. You get them farm boys from Saskatchewan come out here and deal with your case. Ask Rick Ross and his crew. Kendrick wasn't stupid. Kendrick said, I'm getting out of here. I'm going to do my show. I'm going to say all the crazy stuff I'm going to say about Drake. I'm going to get the heck out of this city. And I'm come back next day and do it the next day and do it the same way. Rick Ross learned from that. Rick Ross now, when he comes to Toronto, he gets a limo that drives him straight to the, he can't fit in a limo. He gets some kind of big old SUV. And he drives him straight to the stage. Gets out the limo, he goes on stage. He does his set, he comes down off the stage, gets back in the limo, back to wherever he's staying. That's how Rick Ross moves in this city. This is the Great North, baby. We don't play around up here. So what's the Ayatollah doing? If Kendrick Lamar is afraid of Drake, if Rick Ross is afraid of Drake in Toronto, what is the Ayatollah doing right now? How is he guarding himself right now in his nation? You think that guy's just chilling with his family? First of all, he should be nowhere near his family. He should have been setting his family should be in a submarine somewhere. So the world has become a much dangerous place. And these 2 liars, the stories that they're about to tell us, and I need you to sit down and listen to how, and Please go on my Facebook. Go check me out on Facebook. Check me out on Instagram, Del K. Burton. Everything's Del K. Burton. But go on Facebook and see how Benjamin Netanyahu sounds with his inflections. He sounds just like Donald Trump. He has all the same inflections. You go look at their pictures. These guys are wearing, and this is not coincidental. This is intentional. This is scripted. This is strategic. Same suit, same shirt, same tie. Fawning over each other, using the same inflection. Massive compliments going across the table, back and forth. And remember this too. Donald just lost his boyfriend, Elon Musk. So he's been looking. He's looking for a new bestie, and he's found him. He loves emperors, right? Him and Putin. That's a rough situation. They're at two different ends of the table. But him and Benjamin Netanyahu, they can wear each other's underwear. They have the same agenda. They have the same mentality, except one's smarter than the other. And the stronger one, who is the dumber one, is being led by the weaker one, who is the smarter one. The stronger one, the one with all the military might, is the dumber one. That's Trump. The weaker one, the one who's got a country the size of the state of New Jersey, surrounded by enemies now by his own making, and a limited capacity to make weaponry for themselves. He's the smart one. And you know why he's the smart one? Because he controls the dumb one, but makes the dumb one thinks he's in charge. Oh. If that isn't Machiavellian, when you can cause stupid people to think they're in charge, when you can cause rich people to think they're in charge, when you can cause warmongers and weapon makers and policymakers to think they're in charge, but in the end, you're controlling them, you're pulling all the strings, you have reached a Luciferian level of unimaginable altitude. You're at the top of the evil food chain. Okay? You are Dr. Evil. They should be making James Bond movies about you. That's how evil you are. Shalom, shalom. Shalom, Zenobia, Michelle Clark, to all of you. Appreciate you guys. There's really nothing left to say. Keep your eyes on this one, because this is going to make October 7th and the melee that happened after that, it's going to make that look like a cookout. Gaza, the destruction of Gaza, that was just a warm up. That was stretching out their war machine. Let's see if this bomb works. Wow, you see how far that bomb blew down? That was just an exercise, a military exercise for the real fight, which is Iran and the Muslims all over the world that are been positioned as terrorists. And every great Muslim thinker, if you're going to be talking, make sure you're talking under, 10,000 tons of rock in a basement somewhere, because they're coming to kill all of you guys right now. Yep. And I know black people in America, I want to give you this analogy. You were not quick to run to these Latinos to say, hey, we're your buddies. It's so terrible that you're being deported. Let's march with you in LA. You're like, you're all on your own. This is a fight that's not targeted at us right now, and we really don't want to fight with you because you weren't fighting with us. This is the same situation. This is not a time for anybody to pick a side. these two people are going to implode themselves. I can tell you how it is, but I'll take away stuff from my show for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how this whole situation is going to implode. It's going to implode on the American side economically. And Trump will have to cut ties with Netanyahu for economic reasons. And Netanyahu, who has bitten off way more than he can chew, he's going to be decimated on every front. And Donald's not going to be able to do anything about it. I'm going to tell you about this tomorrow. This is Del K. Brereton. This is The Real Spiel. I'll give you a little hint. MAGA doesn't like Netanyahu. Trump does. Remember that. MAGA, right? The MAGA people, those hillbillies sitting in the hills worried about America, they don't like Netanyahu. They don't want to give him any weaponry. They don't want to help him. They don't want any alignment with him. Trump does. Watch what I'm telling you. Bless you. We'll talk to you guys very soon.